Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Boxborough Select Board meeting. My name is Bob Stemple. I'll be chairing the meeting tonight. Kristen will not be joining us. She might be able to join executive session later on in the meeting. At this point, I'd like to do as I do every meeting, the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you can, please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. One of the first items for tonight is for public input. These are for comments from residents for items that are not on the agenda, and we'll see how many we have. So if I have to limit the talk, does anyone have any comments to say tonight before we get going? No. Okay.
Sam just contacted me. He'll be here in a minute.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. The first item, the next item on the list is for the police department, and we have a new officer joining us. Police Chief, would you like to comment before first? I noticed Chris is on as a Zoom person.
Good evening, members of the Select Board. John Shevchik, Chief of Police, Town of Boxborough. I'm here today to announce a new hire who will be joining us starting next week and bring him forward, Officer Christopher Lowney. Many of you, he did work here for about 5 years, 2019 to 2023. He was a real involved member of our community. He did go to another municipality for a couple of years, but he has decided to come back, and we're eager to have him. So Chris is on tonight, if you want to say a couple words.
Yeah, Chris, I think you're allowed to come in on Zoom now.
Yes, Chief. Everyone, thanks for having me. Chris Lowney again. Like the Chief said, I spent 5 years previous in Boxborough, and happy the opportunity to come back and serve community here. And you know, I have family in town, so it's something that brought me back to Boxborough, and just knowing not only members of the Select Board but a bunch of members of the community as well. Looking forward to representing the town and keeping those close relationships I had in the past.
That's great, Chris. I actually remember you when I was on the fire department, so it was it's great having you back. That one of the questions that our chair always asks is,
you're the chair. You don't have to do.
I do it. I do. Why do you want to come back, Chris?
I would say one, Bob, on a professional a level, is Boxborough's a place where, again, I know people by their first name. Like you said, just you work at the fire department. We've had a good relationship in the past. People, the Select Board, but members of the community, whether it be through town events or just seeing people around town. You not only know their face, but know their first name and their families and where they live. On a personal level, like I said, I have family in town. I just recently had a daughter this past year. She's about 8 months now. Just having a relationship with her grandparents and being able to stop by and just seeing her at work, important to me. So that's one of the reasons that brought me back to Boxborough.
That's great, Chris. Thank you very much. We welcome you, and we look forward to working with you. Chief, anything else?
We're excited to have him back, and thank you very much for having us here tonight.
Chief, does he have to go through any special training, academy or anything? I mean, can he hit the ground running pretty much?
No, a short field training period here. A couple of things may have changed have changed in the last couple of years, but a shorter field training period. But as far as the certifications, he's been working the last 2 years in another town, and his certifications are up to date.
Great, thank you. And
Chris, welcome.
yeah, I was going
Happy to have you back.
I was going to say, anybody from the board want to say anything to Chris? Mike?
Yes, so he'll be anticipated starting working before your next meeting. So he is still doing his wrap-up evaluations and stuff like that, but he's all trained, ready to go. He's just got to finish his physical exam and all that stuff. So the appointment you make, and you'll see in the wording, is conditional upon that wrapping up. And I believe we've got him scheduled to start on February 17th, which is 4 days before your next meeting. So that's the reason it's conditional. But we don't expect any hiccups, and we look forward to having Chris back on the force and out in the streets in Boxborough again.
Super, that sounds great. Sam, you came with you. Did you want to add anything?
Welcome, Chris.
There you go. Great. With that,
You want
Yep. I'll move to appoint Christopher Lowry as a Boxborough police officer effective February 17, 2026 for an indefinite term to serve until resignation, retirement, or separation from service, subject to the satisfactory completion of all required medical examinations, background checks, and any other applicable conditions. And I guess, was seconded, thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No, that's it, 4-0, please. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Chris.
The next item we have is, unfortunately, a resignation from the Council on Aging. One of our members is leaving, and I will read his letter to the Select Board. I am officially resigning from the Council on Aging Board. I am moving out of town, out of Boxborough. I am moving out of Boxborough, and I am happy to have served the community sincerely, Edward Knight. So it is with regret we accept your resignation from the Boxborough Council on Aging. Actually, Dr. Knight, we were on the board together. I was liaison, so unfortunately we accept it, and we wish you the best of luck in your new town, as we unfortunately won't have you around town. So with that, I move to accept the resignation of Edward Knight from the Council on Aging with thanks for his service to the town. Second?
Second.
West, second, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, 4-0. Any negatives? No. Okay, we're gonna move up to, Mike, you wanna open this one up?
Sure. So this is, if we want to put it up, I think it's in the packet, okay, the language for the special election.
Yep.
Okay, great. And so this is the language that's going to be on the special election ballot, which will be on March 17th. So ballot question 1 is for purchase of property at 984 Massachusetts Avenue for a new firehouse, and it will read, shall the town of Boxborough be allowed to exempt from provisions of Proposition 2 1/2, so-called, the amounts required to pay for the bond issued in order to purchase for public safety purchases, including but not limited to construction of a new firehouse and all other related fire and emergency medical services or emergency medical purposes, 3 contiguous parcels of land identified as 984 Massachusetts Avenue, Boxborough, Massachusetts, shown as parcel ID 14-005-000. 984 Massachusetts Avenue. And the second one is parcel ID 14-003 000 996 Massachusetts Ave, and the third one is parcel ID 14-004 000 38 Sarah's Way, and containing approximately 4.205 acres, including the land acquisition cost and all incidental and related expenses, including the payment of costs incidental or related thereto. And that's question 1 on the ballot for March 17th. And the second ballot is, it's ballot question number 2, and it's new firehouse design and bid funding. And this one reads, shall the town of Boxborough be allowed to exempt from the provisions of Proposition 2 1/2, so-called, the amounts required to pay for the bond issued in order to design, prepare construction drawings, pre-qualify contractors, bid the construction, and determine the lowest responsible general bid for a new firehouse, including the payment of costs incidental or related thereto. And this is what you're voting on, that's the language to go into the warrant for the election on March 17th for the special election.
Great. Mike, my only question was, the only time I see the amount of land is approximately 4.2. Does that 4.2 cover all of those parcels?
It is. That's the aggregate of all 3 parcels. It's 4.205 acres.
Great.
Correct.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Questions? Okay, and therefore, I move to authorize and sign the special town election warrant for March 17th, 2026.
Second.
It's second by Wes. All those approve?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone disapprove? Nope, that's it. That's another 4-0. Thank you very much.
And we'll send that right away to the town clerk, and once they receive that, then they can, post it and make it all official.
The next one I have is the acceptance of the Acton-Boxborough Cultural Council grant. Mike, all right, I did see Wendy. Is Wendy, Wendy want to talk about this?
I believe she's on for
Okay,
this one,
great.
yes.
Yeah, Wendy, tell us what's going, hi, Wendy, what's going on?
Hi, how everybody? I just wanted to let everyone know, if you haven't seen the Facebook post, that we got a $900 grant for the movement series. It's happening right now, session 1. We have 2 more sessions, and it has been a huge success. We've had the highest attendance we have had in the last 2 years. I keep trying to get Mike to come to February 21st line dancing, but it's full now.
Right, we can make that a requirement, that's fine.
Yeah, we can make extra room for him.
Oh, did you say it's already full? Too bad.
I need a recording of that.
He doesn't qualify for that.
Registration's all full. I tried my best.
Even with the snow a couple days ago, Saturday, we had like over 14 people, but the other 2 have been 20 plus with a waiting list. So I think people are ready to get out of the house. But I wanted to thank the Wellbeing Committee for their support, and especially Ann McNeese and Mary Halvey Dove, who's members of the Wellbeing, that they are like, for me, they've been helping me get instructors and going to the sessions. And then also Ann Seymour, who's a Boxborough resident. She has a yoga studio, but she's also helped the last couple of years get instructors, and they've all been helping me review the grant too. So we're very excited that we got this grant.
Wendy, is this designated, I'm sorry if I missed it, is this designated for a specific purpose, or is this more in general for the how you and the team feels that it should be best used?
No, we wrote the grant specifically for the movement series, and it's 9 classes at $100 each for the instructors.
Okay.
So no, we wrote it specifically for this.
Great.
For the movement series. It's just to get people out of the house. And one other thing is, it's for all ages and abilities. So we've had kids 5 years old, and then we've had seniors 80 plus years old coming to the classes.
Great, thanks, Wendy.
Wendy, if the participants wouldn't mind, I think it'll be nice if you can do a recording and post it in our social media, if they wouldn't mind. So.
Oh,
Nice.
a recording of the class?
Yeah.
I have pictures of the, whoever wants to be in the photo afterwards. We do a picture, but there are some people that don't want to be like photographed or recorded, so it'd be hard to do that.
Okay. Understood.
Anybody else? Questions? All right. With that, Wendy, thank you very much for your help and for your description of what the $900 is to be used for.
Yeah. Congratulations.
That's great, Wendy.
Thank you. We're very excited.
That's excellent, getting the 900. I move to accept the Acton-Boxborough Cultural Council grant in the amount of $900. Can I have a second?
Second.
West seconded. Can I have all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That is, anyone opposed? That is 4-0 again for that particular motion. Great. Moving down.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Wendy,
Thanks,
appreciate
Wendy.
it.
Bye.
Bye.
The next one is we're going to have a quick discussion, and Mike can chime in wherever it is. Our Director of Land Use, Alec Wade, is going to be running a pre-town meeting forum, as he did for the Fire Station Building Committee. He's going to be running a forum before the special town meeting in March. And there's going to be tables there, and there's going to be information for people to go to the forum so you understand exactly what's going on at the town meeting. And it's going to be about the acquisition of 984, and it's going to be about other items that go along with that. And there's also going to be information about other items happening in town. And Mike, you want to talk about it?
Sure. This is something that was started by the Land Use Department before the special town meeting back in October. And it was timed so that it happened after people received the warrant in the mail, so they knew what was coming. It was also advertised in that warrant, as it is this time. It was highly successful. It was very well attended. We had nearly 50 people who came. And one of the nice things is that a lot of the people who came are people we hadn't seen before in previous public engagement forums over the last year and a half. Some with children that they actually brought to the event, and Alec provided some creative things for the children to do and some snacks, and it was very well received. So after the event, Alec and I spoke, and I asked him would he consider doing it again in the future, and he said, yeah, it was so well attended, and he had a lot of positive comments, as did I and the rest of us who were presenting and meeting the public there. And he said, yeah, absolutely. And so his plan is to do that before each town meeting, whether it's special or annual, to preview what's coming up. On this one, as you mentioned, the folks from the Fire Station Building Committee will be there to answer questions and related to things in the warrant on the 2 fire station articles. The Sustainability Committee is going to be there to meet members of the public just to talk about the work that they do. Also, the fire chief and possibly some members of his staff are going to be there to talk about the new RAVE system, which is the reverse 911 system that Boxborough has acquired in the last calendar year and now is put out. And part of it will be to educate people on what that information system is, what it provides, and give people an opportunity to sign up and show them how, if they need a little bit of instruction on how to get those notifications. So that's what it's about, and then you can expect a similar sort of event, information session before the annual town meeting as well. This one is going to be held on February 23rd in the library community room from 2 to 8 p.m.
Great. And I noticed Alec just joined. Alec, do you want to add anything to what Mike just said?
I only tuned in for a portion of what Mike said, but no, I'm sure he covered most of it. I'm here to help answer any questions you have, whether it's individual tables and what they'll be speaking on or the primary focus.
Alec, I had mentioned, since you didn't catch it all, I had mentioned that the Fire Station Committee will be there to talk about the 2 articles. I mentioned that sustainability will be there, and the chief will be there to talk about RAVE. Did I miss anything?
Conscom and Redcom, right?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, so we actually have, let's see, 3 additional tables. We have the Housing Board, the Recreation Commission, and the Conservation Commission will also both be present, with each one of those groups bringing their own independent voices, different communities, and helping drum up that overall participation. Housing in particular is a really key opportunity here. I think in 2025, short of the fire station, I think with MBTA communities underway, housing is probably the 2nd largest discussion in Boxborough. And so we do think that that'll help draw some additional support of people actually coming out and learning about the different articles.
That's great, Alec. Thank you very much. You did a great job with the previous one. And I think the thing I liked about the previous one, and it sounds like what you're doing here, is that it's not like town meeting or it's not a presentation. People can go and come in, go as they want. They don't have to sit for the whole thing or for every different one. If they want to hear about the Conscom, they can hear about Conscom. Or if they want to hear about the Fire Station Building Committee, they can hear about that. Just go to those people and ask unique, specific questions to that. And I think it's more, as I'm trying to say, it's a more one-on-one experience that the people have. If someone understands A, B, and C, but they don't know about D and E, I think this is their opportunity to learn about D and E. And I applaud you for running this, and thank you for helping coordinate this. Thank you.
Bob, one of the things I noticed last fall when we were doing this is that there were people set up at particular tables. Yeah. So there was Ian, who's the associate planner, was at one of the tables. The consultant from MAPC was also over, and they were both on the side that was doing the MBTA communities. And then there were people from the Fire Station Building Committee and the fire chief who were over on the tables to talk about those articles. And Alec and I were both floating around the room without being tied to a particular table. And so as people came in and they were looking to get to a certain place or had a question, we were kind of directing them. But one thing that was really interesting to me is there were people that came only to learn about MBTA communities, and there were others that came only to learn about fire station articles. And they tended to migrate across the room, and they learned about both. We encouraged them to do that, but some found their own way to do that. So I think that the cross-pollination that Alec has set up with having multiple different communities and articles and things like that, I think it lends itself to that, and there's going to be a good education opportunity for people to learn probably more than they even came for, but it's at their own pace and desire. It's whatever they want to indulge in. That's, salad bar approach. They can do that. So, and it worked out really, really well. I loved the way he set it up last time.
No, I agree, and that's great. Alec, can you just to tell everybody again the dates? Mike mentioned them, the dates and the time, please.
Yeah, so it's going to be Monday, February 23rd, and it's going to be from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And that's a big range. So we're going to have different shifts of people being available. I'll be there the majority of the day. Ian, the associate town planner, will also be there the majority of the day. He provides staff support to some of those other boards that are going to be there. And we're going to see a circulating team of volunteers, staff individuals, coming and going from the event to help run tables and provide information, which we think will also draw up, encourage additional attendance. But that 2 p.m. time frame is really important because we do want to be earlier in the day. That way we might be more accommodating for the work from home community, the stay-at-home parent community, and maybe even parents who are picking up from Blanchard. If they've got those few extra minutes when they're waiting next door at the library, pop on inside, see what's going on. As we did last time, we're going to have a dedicated space set aside for children's, for their interactions, just for stuff to occupy their time, keep them involved. Childcare is always an element that prevents members of the public from coming to events like these and interacting with their government. So we remain committed to providing those essential resources that'll make it easier for people to come and spend that time learning about a topic or two.
That's great. Sam?
I'll say I went to the one in the fall, and my 5-year-old had a great time.
So wait a minute. Kids are invited? You can bring kids?
Absolutely.
There are firefighters there, but it's very kid-friendly.
No, that's great. Alec, that's great. It sounds like you've got it all covered. That's great. I really, really appreciate it.
Can
Go ahead.
we speak? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, please. Anyone, yeah.
Yeah. Before we
Yeah.
go anywhere else. All right. Do we know how we are advertising for this? Rajan, is it front and center in our webpage?
Yeah, we'll probably do another wave of advertising, but I believe it'll be similar to last time, social media, town website, and then what we can do again, similar to last time, is do another podcast on it as well.
Podcast, and what about the electronic sign at the fire station? We could probably add it there.
Yeah, that's already planned to be done, and then as well as the
Sandwich boards?
we hadn't talked about that, but they're available, yes.
Yeah, I think we should. So if you can have that coordinated, Alec, I think that'll be helpful to have the sandwich board with the dates and the times, so that people can see at different spots, right? And then it should be front and center in the webpage as well. I know I was a little concerned originally about, and Alec and I spoke, but my concern was could this be diluted, because the main issue was for the pre-town meeting, but then we have other tables available, but maybe it'll, like you said, maybe there's cross-pollination and people might come just for the other, so I'm kind of okay with it now, so, but we definitely need to have the advertisement part.
Yeah. I can coordinate with Alec on it.
Alec, yeah. So make sure that it goes well in advance in the electronic one, as well as in the sandwich boards.
Yeah. Another thing we noticed is that many of the people showed up with the warrant. They just received it with a couple of days prior, and some of them had already taken notes or marked areas where they had questions and stuff, and we found that to be helpful. They went right to the thing that was of concern to them, or where they had a question, and it was great. It shows that people are interested, engaged, reading the warrant, and they knew where to come to get their questions answered, which was terrific.
Wes, anything?
No.
Sam? I think we have one here. Diana, did you want to chime in, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. I had a question. Since this is about the town meeting warrant, why are the additional board there? For example, why is the housing board there? Are they just taking this opportunity to promote housing, or are they against the warrant article? Are they taking a stand saying we didn't like the? I'm curious about that. Alec, maybe you can let me know.
Alec?
Yeah, happy to respond to that, Mr. Chairperson. So it's a little bit of column A there. So really what it is we have a small warrant ahead of us for special town meeting, and where we have a lack of diversity in the form of different types of articles, we need other things to encourage that cross-pollination. A fundamental part of this event and the concept is that people aren't always engaged with the topics that might be immediately in front of them, but they might engage with a different topic. On an annual town meeting warrant, you'll see CPC articles that span a wide range. Just as an example, historic preservation, housing, recreation, those are things that will bring their own populations to the event, where they'll then have the exposure to learn about other topics. In this case, it was both an opportunity where there's available space so we can promote some of the other activities that are going on. Specifically, the housing board's going to be starting to talk about their housing production plan. I know the RecCom intends to talk about Flora Meadows, which they're currently working on an article for annual town meeting of quite a large dollar value, so something that'll draw a lot of attention in the very near future. And they themselves come with their own unique population. So we also get the marketing benefit. They'll be doing their own direct outreach to their typical populations, encouraging them to come out, and then those populations will be exposed to the other topics in the room.
So have you offered this benefit to all of the committees? Have you let them all know? Okay.
Yep. So back in January, we emailed all the board and committee chairs and had an open call for concept, the opportunity to sign up and get a table on a first come, first served basis. We didn't get nearly as many that responded back as expected, but some that started with a concept and ultimately said, you know, I don't think we're going to be able to staff the table. We're not going to have as robust of a table as possible. But we landed with, I think, a really good crop and a diverse crop that will have different populations that'll be really eager to come out and learn about the varying topics.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alec, thank you very much. I think one of the things that we're trying to do, the select board and the town in general, with the town halls held at town's administration, we're just trying to get information out to all the residents. And, you know, whether it's in this forum and whether it's about special or whether it's about the annual, we're getting a lot of concerns and comments from the residents about, you know, gee, I didn't know that was happening. Gee, I didn't know that was happening. And I think the more times we can bring town hall and committees out to tell people what's going on and what's being discussed, it's just better information. And as the saying goes, an informed resident is a better, smarter resident. So that's what we're trying to do, is just answer the questions well ahead of before a necessary vote. That's really it. Great. Thank you, everyone, for participating. The next item we have is to, Mike, to remove it, to remove.
Yes, so Article 4 on the town meeting was to approve funding from free cash for the October special town meeting. We've actually found another way to fund that, and that was through the reserve fund transfer. And you know, our accountant, our finance director, actually spoke with our auditor about this one, and they highly recommended against going in the future to vote for money that we've already spent in the past. So we have money that's voted into the budget through the reserve fund, so that's where we're gonna use the money. And it's the more proper way to do it.
And, okay, so, and the auditors have looked at this and said, yeah?
Yeah, they recommended against voting it at a future town meeting. Since we've already spent the money, it would be, you know, having the cart kind of ahead of the horse.
Okay. Anybody else, questions? Nope. Okay, with that, I move to remove Article 4 from the special town meeting warrant related to the October 2025 town meeting expense. Can I have a second? And it is second by Wes. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That, anyone against? Nope, it is passed again 4-0. Thank you very much, everyone. The next one is the annual town meeting countdown. Sounds interesting. Mike, you want to talk about it?
Sure. The way we look at this as an administration, we kind of reverse engineer it. So we know that so I'm going to start in May. It's in your packet, the last, in the middle of the packet from page 8 back. So I'm going to start on page 8, which is May. So annual town meeting starts on a Tuesday this year. Because of our scheduling with the school, we didn't want to disrupt a concert that they had scheduled for the 18th. So annual town meeting is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the 19th, 20th, and 21st of May. A little bit of change for people, but we think it's best for the community, especially for the students over at Blanchard. So we back up from there, and we know that we want to get the warrants in people's mailboxes 2 weeks prior. So expect to get them in the mailbox by May 5th. And then you back up to April, and that's when we start talking about where do we have to get it to the printer. April 10th, which is a Friday, we get it to the printer. That gives the printing company 3 weeks to work on it, get a proof back to Kelly, and make sure that everything's ironed out and sent. So then moving back to March, this is where we start looking at votes of the Select Board and FinCom, recommendations. That's where the rest of this comes in. And it gives the boards, the committees, the time and the schedule and the structure to be able to prepare for this so that we can get the warrant over to the printer in time. So that's where these dates all come from, backing us up to current date basically. So if you remember the last week of January, you voted to open the warrant. It is currently open, and we'll be looking at your next meeting, which is February 23rd, to have the placeholders due, so at least the title of an article into administration, and at that Monday night meeting to close the warrant, and then start beginning the first review of the draft warrant, and start assigning who's going to do the recommendations. For the select board.
Yeah, that was my question. So that's when the assignments get on our next meeting, the 23rd. That's when.
Correct.
We got to choose who's going to be
Correct.
doing the recommendations.
And this is a draft, but we think this structure works very well to get us ready with all the wickets that we got to get through to get to a smooth pathway to town meeting. And then through March, you'll see that we're looking to get the draft language from the placeholders that have already been placed in previously on Monday, the 2nd of March, to administration. And then at your next meeting, which will be March 9th, start doing your votes and approvals of your written recommendations of the different articles that the select board is going to opine on. And then we're looking to get final language by the end of that week, along with votes and recommendations.
March 9th, we have our special town meeting, right?
We do. My mistake. So that's why this is a draft. Yeah, thank you for that. And this is interesting. This is the second time that we've had two town meetings overlapping like this, and it gets tricky. So thank you for catching that. So we'll have to see if we want to back that up, or if we want to try to build in a little extra time in the meeting that we do before the special town meeting. But let us work on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? A separate meeting to do it?
Yeah, not
Okay.
on the 9th, I don't think. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys agree. Like, I don't think we should be talking about the annual town meeting right before the special
Yeah.
town meeting.
There were 2 meetings.
All right.
So we would do it on the 16th as well?
No, they're saying move that meeting to the 16th because the town meeting would be on the 9th. So we would have a
Yeah.
meeting
So
on the
just have a-
16th and the 23rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably makes the most sense.
Yep.
Because otherwise, it would be too early. We wouldn't have the language in yet, so you wouldn't have something to start doing recommendations and votes
Okay.
on. So that probably makes a lot of sense, it's just,
Have the 16th and the 23rd.
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
And the 9th, because we'll have town meeting, so it'll be 3 Mondays in a row.
Okay. We sign up. All right. Mike,
Can
you-
look into like March 6th, like maybe a Zoom? I don't know.
can we do, you want to do Zoom? I don't know.
Friday night?
Friday?
On a Friday night?
No.
All
All right,
That
no,
was a
I,
bit-
just so that we don't have like back to back to back every Monday.
Every Monday.
Moving it
Whatever.
back 3 days to a Friday doesn't help
No.
that problem.
Okay, all right.
All right. Mike, do you want us to vote on this tonight with adding the amendment to make it the 9th, the 16th, and the 23rd? Or do you
I
want to?
don't know if we need a vote. This is more of
Yeah,
an administrative thing.
Yeah, I don't think you need to vote on it, but if we have consensus, we can, if the will of the board is to move that meeting to the 16th, we could just do that and move forward with that as a plan.
I'm fine with that, yep. So we will have 3 meetings, folks. March 9th, March 16th, and March 23rd.
Technically, the 9th is a town meeting.
Yeah.
Right.
So we would just have 2 meetings, the 16th
Well,
and the 23rd.
you're right, yeah, you're right, yeah, you're right, yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Priya, for catching it, I think.
And I think with that, we had discussed, the administration did anyways, a possible extra meeting on the 30th. I think that we probably don't want to do 4
No.
weeks in a row.
No.
So why don't we,
Cancel that.
why don't we not do that? That's the one that's highlighted in yellow. We'll just take that off.
Agreed.
I mean, you could also just bump the 23rd to the 30th.
Does
Because
that,
that way the 24th, the FinCom will have voted, and then we'll,
we can,
You could do that, and then you're not going all those weeks in a row.
No, yep,
good idea.
that would
All
work.
right, so we'll change that, so we will meet, so we'll have the
Town meeting the 9th.
town meeting the 9th, then the select board will meet on the 16th,
And then the 30th.
and then, and then the FinCom will meet
Yeah.
on the 24th, and then the select board will meet on the 30th.
I think that's better.
Yep, I agree.
Perfect.
Sam, you okay with that? Just say yes. Thank you.
Aren't there 31 days? Oh, the mouse is, the cursor is covering the 31.
Well, thanks for catching that. That was good, and I'm glad we were able to adjust it, so, excellent.
Good.
So I think that's all we need to firm up that calendar and get us on a good pathway to annual town meeting.
Perfect.
It does get confusing, though. We had a similar thing going last year when we were trying to do, and we had two warrants open at the same time when we were preparing for, was it a February special? We ended up not having it, but it was confusing for a while to having 2 warrants open at the same time.
Definitely. I appreciate it.
And I'm easily confused.
I appreciate the flexibility of everyone, thank you, and Priya's catching it. That's all, that's for that. Next item on the agenda is just the annual vote to sign. Good.
We have a motion here. Do we need a motion?
No,
For
I'm gonna,
this?
that's why I skipped right over it.
Okay.
Yeah, I skipped
Yeah,
right over it.
I don't think so.
Thank you, Priya.
This next one is easy. There'd be a little more to this, is the seasonal population.
Is this new?
No, it's not. We do this every year, but we breeze through it very quickly, because if we were a Cape Town or something like that, where our population doubled or tripled in the summer, or something like that, or a ski town, it'd be different, but we're not. We have a consistent population year-round, other than our students who, head off to college, but
Yeah.
even then, they generally, we're consistent, it stays. So the estimate here, you can see, is the variation will be 0.
Mm-hmm.
And you vote this, we have to vote it every year, and then we send it in and we move on our way. And that's
And
pretty
this,
easy.
and this wasn't triggered by anything happening in town, it's just, and just, a-
Every town gets this every year, and you just have to send it in and certify. Again, it's more important if you have a town that fluctuates seasonally.
Great. Any questions from the board? Great. So with that, I will move to approve and authorize the ABCC Seasonal Population Increase Estimation Form for the annual submission. Can I have a second?
Second.
And it is second by Wes. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That is 4-0. No one disapproved. And very quickly, next couple of items, reports and announcements. We're going to go with Sam starting tonight.
I don't
Mix it.
think.
I'm sorry?
I had a great time Saturday.
Oh, so did you really? Good. Good.
Otherwise, I have not.
Glad to hear it. That's what we want to hear. I'm glad you had a great time. Priya?
No, I think we don't have any updates from the fire station building committee. I mean, the main thing is the pre-town meeting, so we encourage folks to attend that and have their questions answered, or at least come and get information. So even if you don't have questions, at least come and hear what is going to be in the special town meeting. And then March 9th, we are looking forward to it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
That's it. We don't have I don't have any other updates.
Great. Wes?
So one of the privileges of the select board is to name facilities and buildings. And there's a policy around it. However, I didn't know if maybe the board would at a future meeting want to consider our transfer station. We had lost somebody from the transfer station who had served the transfer station for many years, to the point where his traditions still continue on. Namely, the Dum Dum lollipops for kids.
Yep.
And the dog treats for other kids.
Very small kid.
Sometimes
some cases.
sometimes they're bigger than actual kids.
No, you're right. No, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine is.
But I didn't know if the board, since the transfer station is literally called the Boxborough Transfer Station, if we wanted to consider at some point at a later meeting to rename it something more of a memorial name.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean.
Like, we can't talk about it now. but
No,
it's
yeah,
just
right,
like,
no, I think
I think that's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea. I think we will definitely add that to a future agenda and discuss it. I think it's a great suggestion, Russ. I really appreciate you bringing that forward. It never entered my mind, and I appreciate that thought. I
Well,
think,
I know that because the policy, when we did all the policies one year, they had a naming policy, and then there's a statutory time that has to lapse between the passing of somebody and potentially renaming a building or facility.
great. I think we should look into that and make sure that we're within the time frame.
Oh, we're outside of it. They're totally fine.
Oh, it's totally fine,
Yeah.
okay, great. So then, so I think, depending upon the agendas, let's look at the agendas and we'll add it as quickly as possible, but not as a high priority, but something I think we want to discuss, and I think the board will, I'll go on the limb here and think approve. But yeah, we'll discuss it and have open comments about it going forward when we put it on the agenda. Thank you, Wes.
Yeah.
What did I have? Oh, I wanted to thank the DPW for the great job of plowing again and for all the work for the numerous plowing seasons that they've done. It's the pain I'll use the word pain in the neck storms that you get a little bit all day long, and it keeps them there for a long time. So I just want to acknowledge the DPW for the great work they've done with the snow plowing and snow removal so far this year.
We have another one coming tomorrow night.
Yeah, I know. I was trying not to talk about that.
And then this weekend.
I will be out of
Yeah.
town.
Well, it's school break. I messaged Liz and I was like, oh, it'll probably be, Monday might be a snow day for the kids. And I'm like, oh, wait, it's
already
winter break.
Exactly. It's already a snow
So-
day. Yep, exactly. Mike, what do you got?
Two quick updates. So yesterday, the Boxborough Fire Department was called into action when there was a flooding situation over at the Marlborough Hospital where the basement, there was some kind of a pipe leak, and the basement started flooding, so they evacuated all the patients from there. So we were called in by District 14, which is the district that we are part of. There were approximately 85 ambulances that showed up from around the state, and we sent one of them. The chief was there as well, with coordination, administration, and command assistance with moving all of these patients to various facilities, around the region. And I think there were 3 or 4 different hospitals the patients were sent to as there was room. And it was quite a coordination effort. There were a lot of departments there, a lot of chiefs, and as I mentioned, a lot of ambulances. And we had a crew there with firefighter EMT Jonathan Picca and firefighter EMT, what was the second one there?
Santos.
Kyle Santos.
Yep.
And they spent a good part of the day there in rough weather. And there was also the orchestrating of which ambulances were going where, which patient was going to which ambulance, and keeping track of making sure that as they were checking out of the hospital, that they knew which hospital was expecting them, what their conditions were, and all that sort of thing. And our team at Boxborough Fire Department was instrumental to that regional effort, and we're very proud of them and thank them for their participation and their professional response as always.
And just so the town knows, the fact that we sent the ambulance out with the chief out, there was coverage in the town during that whole time, so it wasn't that we left the town uncovered. The chief has plans in place and has procedures in place just for such an emergency, that I think it was the on-duty crew that went down to cover, as Mike said, and help with the Marlborough Hospital, and he was able to pull in members of his team to cover our station should an emergency happen. I don't know if there was an emergency or if the services were needed, but just so people know that when people in our crews go out of town, there is always people in the station backing up the on-duty crew.
The only other thing I have is I wanted to remind people that, as it's posted on the website, the town hall is open on Fridays from 8 to noon now. I'm not going to say we've been overwhelmed with services or calls, but we've had about 2 people per Friday come in looking for services, and we've got some stats that we've been keeping on that. It seems like the most in-demand services from the town clerk's office, but again, we've Rajon and I, we've been doing it on a rotating basis. Rajon and I have been rotating. We have some staff who are here on Fridays anyways, even before the town hall was opened up. But again, not overwhelming, but it is open so that people know that we're continuing to do that. And we're kind of looking at during this period, what's the cost benefit of it, and certainly there are costs and downsides in my estimation. But I think we're also looking at what's the benefit. What are services that people are receiving that they might not have been able to receive at other times. So anyways, we're open from 8 to 4. It's been going on for the last, 8 to 12, and that's been going on for the last 5 Fridays, and we'll be open this Friday as well.
No, that's great. I think as this board has discussed, Mike, with you, I think we are a service organization, and I think the fact that the service organization, and that if people are coming in have questions, and I'm glad you're keeping these statistics open, because it could come in waves, because when tax bills are due or when anything else, it might come in waves from quarter to quarter, from week to week. So I appreciate you keeping statistics to see how that goes forward. Thank you.
Mike, is this a period of time that you might be taking feedback and input on this idea from members of the public, staff, boards, things like that? Yeah,
absolutely. And so when Cassie, who I think is monitoring this meeting, reached out to me, she took some quotes from myself and other members, including Kristen, and she asked at the end of her questions, is there anything else I'd like to add? And I had said, yeah, I think it would be helpful as we're looking at this cost-benefit analysis. I think it would be helpful to get feedback from the community on positive, negative. So yeah, most of the feedback that we've received has been from staff, but we have received a little bit of feedback from the community. I think, and again, it's early, The first week was not really advertised widely. The word's gotten out more and more as the weeks have gone by. But I think the biggest feedback that we've received so far is there's not much action. There's not many people coming in. And so far, we haven't seen anything that hasn't been something that could have been done, Monday through Thursday. A lot of it's been like, can I get an application to get my transfer sticker? Or how do I get a dog license? Or, things like that. There hasn't been anything unusual. But I am definitely open to feedback from anyone, positive, negative, because we want to, since it's a trial period, we want to evaluate it well. And, the person who's good with data and things like that is Alec. And so he's the one who's compiling the data from the employees that have been working on a rotating basis for the last 5 Fridays, and will continue to do so during this trial period.
Super.
Well, in that spirit, I would like to say I'm opposed to this. I think this is a bad idea. I think it shows a mistrust of staff, and it's a solution in search of a problem. I'd also note that this board hasn't voted on it, and I'd like to request a vote in the future on it, when we can properly notice it and have a discussion.
Yeah,
We had discussions and.
There was no
there was no vote.
There was no vote, and there was no conclusion on a
the-
plan of action, and it was 6 months ago.
Oh, yeah, because for me, that meeting, I came away don't open 5 days a week, and it is a benefit to the employees.
And I don't want to have a discussion on it right now.
No, that's fine.
But in the spirit of taking input, yeah.
Okay, we'll put it on the agenda and discuss it at one of our future meetings. Thank you, Sam. Rajan.
All right, so got a few projects coming up. I would say some pretty interesting stuff happening. So actually this morning we kicked off one of the projects with our Green Communities grant, which is the lighting, the LED lighting upgrades for 3 of our facilities. So here at Town Hall, the DPW facility, and the library, we will be getting all new LED lights inside of the building. So hopefully that will keep some of our electric costs down. But we are contracted with Resources Lighting and Energy, RLE. We met with them this morning. We did site walkthroughs through each one of the 3 buildings, and they're starting this spring. They're going to go in and start replacing all of our existing lighting with LED lighting. So that'll be something that will be happening upcoming. Also, we have partnered with the Institute of Human-Centered Design, who is doing our ADA transition plan. So starting last week, they were here at Town Hall, and I believe the library and a few of our other municipal facilities to taking measurements, looking at each one of our current sites to give us a recommendation for us to do our ADA transition plan, which we can use for planning for making all of our facilities ADA compliant in the upcoming years.
Rajan, before you go, the lighting, I'm sorry, did you say, how is that being done? The cost is what I'm asking. Is it a grant, or is it by Littleton Electric, or are we paying for it?
It's through our Green Communities grant.
It's through our Greens Community Grant, so we're not really paying for this. We're not paying for it at all. It's through a grant.
Yeah, it's grant.
That all the lights are being transferred over.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, good. I'm sorry.
So,
Rajan, what about like the Blanchard School? That was supposed to be during the school vacation week. Are we on track with that? Do you know?
for the
LELD,
Yep.
we've only doing the
town properties.
the town.
There was, can we get follow-up from that? Like, I know Alec is not on, but it was supposed to be for Blanchard too.
This grant, to this particular grant?
The green communities, that's part of what, like the first initial stages. There's a whole bunch of things that, remember maybe 3-4 weeks ago, Alec came and like kind of specified what are all the steps that they have to go through. Right. So Blanchard was supposed to be for during the spring break. Is it winter break? Yeah, winter break, I guess.
Yeah, I remember that discussion. And,
yeah, I just want to make sure that we are on track for that, because we cannot apply for the next set of grant till we satisfy this one. So I want us to be on track with this.
We'll get an update from Alec or Ian, who's overseeing this project, okay, and make sure that's the plan.
Super, great. Rajan?
And as far as on the staffing side, we as you've seen tonight, we have made a hire for one police officer. We're still taking applications for the other opening police officer positions, and we also advertise for the part-time department assistant position at the police station as well.
So we have a part-time assistant's position at the police and another full-time officer at the police department.
We're still taking applications.
Okay, yeah, we're still taking applications on both those.
Yes.
And DPW, we're not looking for anybody. And fire, we're not looking for anybody.
Fire, I believe. I don't think so at this point.
Let us know.
Yeah, I believe we just filled 2 full-time
Okay,
firefighters.
I just wanted to get a sense. Yeah, that's fine. Kelly, I know you don't have anything, but anything? Open it up, okay. Anyone else? Nope. The next one is approval of the minutes. I looked at the minutes, I saw the minutes, I think they're fine. I didn't have any revisions. Does anyone else have any revisions to the minutes? With that, I will move to approve the minutes of the select board minutes of January 26th, which was a remote-only meeting. Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That's 4-0, approved and seconded by Wes. Thank you very much. The next item is the board will be going into executive session.
Do we need to reconvene? Because it says to reconvene, but then effectively we're just adjourning.
I think it would be helpful if we reconvened to vote.
Oh, we don't have a vote on here, though, on the agenda.
But this one, you can actually vote in executive session, but I want to give you the opportunity to announce it afterwards if you so
There
desire.
isn't, I don't think we need to,
Well, I
right?
mean, I don't really want to make them stay here to
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah.
Because we can also
Are there
announce
other
it at
ways
a
we can
future
announce it?
meeting. What?
Are there other ways we can announce it?
Yeah.
Mike, BXB-TV was asking if they could not stay, just so you know, so they weren't going to keep it live open.
If they're not
Okay,
going to stay,
that's-
we definitely don't need to
Yeah,
reconvene.
that's fine.
All right, sorry, so the board will move to executive session and not reconvene in open session. Kristen, I'm sorry, Priya.
I moved
Oh,
to,
wait, Kelly, did you have something?
Well, I was saying you could still do it in open session, but have them not.
No, we'll wait till the next session and we'll announce what happened during executive session to vote.
I moved to enter executive session pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining, AFSCME Council 93, as discussion in open session may have a detrimental effect on the town's bargaining position, and not to reconvene in open session.
Second.
Okay. Oh, we have to do a roll call vote, right?
Well, no, just the three of you.
Yeah.
Oh, you too.
Sam,
I can't vote.
Oh,
Anderson, I.
Wes,
Folks, aye.
should he
Oh.
get to vote
No.
or no?
Well, no, so,
Are you recusing from?
Yeah, I'm recusing.
You're recusing, okay, and Sundaram, aye.
Great,
Okay.
good,
Goodbye,
thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.